This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The time is precisely 1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Romesh Piris and read by Chandima Veerakon. Headlines. The Gazette notification issued regarding wage increase for estate workers. The Colombo High Court issues warrant on former MP. Sri Lankan migrant workers stranded in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates to be repatriated. The Parliament debate on Easter report today. The Catholic Bishops' Conference urges the government to take immediate action to implement the recommendations of the PCOI report on the Easter Sunday attacks. COVID-19 recoveries on the rise. 2020 ordinary level exam draws to an end today. On international news, the Quad Summit to be held online on Friday. In sports news, it's cricket. Sri Lanka, West Indies gear up to shake off ODI rust. Local stories in detail. The Colombo High Court today ordered former parliamentarian Hirunika Premachandra to appear before the court on 10th July. Colombo High Court Judge Champa Janaki Rajaratna made the order in connection with an allegation that a youth was abducted and imprisoned. When the case was taken up today, neither Hirunika Premachandra nor her lawyers appeared in court. Accordingly, the High Court judge ordered the defendant to appear before the court on July 10th and to execute the summons today. However, the former parliamentarian filed a motion through her lawyers to recall the warrant for the arrest, claiming she was at the court premises. All the suspects in the case, except Premachandra, have pled guilty, and on November 6, 2018, the Colombo High Court sentenced them to 2 years rigorous imprisonment suspended for 12 years. The Sports Minister, Namal Rajapaksa, has provided necessary assistance for Sri Lankan migrant workers stranded in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates to be repatriated to Sri Lanka. Minister Rajapaksa, who is currently in Dubai, met with Sri Lankan migrant workers who were stranded in the UAE due to the coronavirus pandemic. During the meeting, he provided the stranded migrant workers with airline tickets to return to Sri Lanka. Minister Namal Rajapaksa, along with State Minister D.V. Chanaka, handed over the airline tickets on behalf of Tourism Minister Prasanna Ranatunga. The Parliament debate pertaining to the report by the Presidential Commission of Inquiry that probed the Easter Sunday attacks will take place today. Accordingly, the report will be debated from 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. The Secretary-General of Parliament, Dhammika Dasanayake, said the government will move the adjournment debate on the report. In addition to today's 2 days of the next parliamentary week have been set aside for the debate on the report on the Easter attack. The Catholic Bishops' Conference in Sri Lanka has called for 22 sensitive documents of the report by the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into the Easter Sunday attacks withheld from the Attorney General to be handed over promptly. The Bishops' Conference, in a statement yesterday, said they closely assess the present situation of the aftermath of the Easter Sunday attacks, with 2 years having lapsed and the affected persons still seeking justice. The conference welcomed the findings of the report and the specific recommendations that have been made and urged the government to take immediate action in the implementation of the recommendations as a matter of priority against those who have been levelled criminal charges. 304 new COVID-19 cases were confirmed yesterday, increasing the country's caseload to 86,343. The number of COVID-19 recoveries recorded in the country increased to 82,753 after 240 persons were discharged during the past 24 hours. 3,079 persons are currently receiving treatment for COVID-19, while 469 suspected cases remain under medical observation. Meanwhile, 4 individuals succumbed to the coronavirus, increasing the country's virus death toll to 511. The 2020 GCE Ordinary Level Examination draws to an end today. The examination that got underway on the 1st of March was conducted at 4,513 centres with 622,352 students sitting the exam. The Department of Examinations, meanwhile, stated that the results of students who act violently or in an unruly manner at examination halls or in the vicinity of examination centres following the completion of the exam will be annulled. Accordingly, students have been requested to peacefully disperse after the completion of the exam. The Education Minister, Professor G.L. Peris, says grade 5, 11 and 13 of all schools in the Western Province will return to academic activities from March 15th. In the meantime, academic activities for students of all grades in other provinces are also expected to recommence on the same day. However, the rest of the grades in schools of Western Province are expected to restart on the 19th of April following the end of school vacations, he said further during a press briefing held today. Further, classes for children who were enrolled for grade 1 in schools for the year 2021 will begin from the 19th of April. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Get a home loan now with attractive interest rates only from People's Home Loan.
Continuing with the local stories, the Ratana Sutra Pirit recital organised by the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation takes place this evening at the Alpitiya Sri Elapatha Ramaya Temple in Godakavela. This will be the 130th program to be held island-wide. The program will broadcast at 6:30 p.m. over SLBC's Sinhala service, City FM and regional services. To end the local news, the headlines again. The Gazette notification issued regarding wage increase for estate workers. The Colombo High Court issues warrant on former MP. Sri Lankan migrant workers stranded in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates to be repatriated. The Parliament debate on Easter report today. The Catholic Bishops' Conference urges the government to take immediate action to implement the recommendations of the PCOI report on the Easter Sunday attacks. COVID-19 recoveries on the rise. 2020 ordinary level exam draws to an end today. That ends the local news.
Pay the interest on your own home without paying rent for someone else's. Get a home loan now with attractive interest rates only from People's Home Loan. Enjoy the option of paying only the interest for the first 5 years.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
On the main news story, the Ministry of Labour has issued a Gazette notification noting that the decisions taken by the Wages Board for the tea growing and manufacturing trade is approved by Labour Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva. Accordingly, the daily minimum wage of estate workers was increased up to 1,000 rupees. It includes the minimum daily wage, labour of 900 rupees and budgetary relief allowance of 100 rupees. The notification will be in effect from 5th March 2021.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhaleba.
On Watchlight, the police have urged the public to remain vigilant of gold chain snatchings that are reportedly on the rise. The Deputy Inspector General of Police, Ajit Rohana, said 3 incidents of such thefts were reported during the past 24 hours. He requested the public, especially females, when walking along deserted stretches of road, to remain vigilant and cautious. That ends Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Headlines of the world news. The Quad Summit to be held online on Friday. The WHO reports 1 in 3 women endure violence worldwide. The UN panel says nuclear accident unlikely to raise cancer rate. The White House says US President Joe Biden will hold an online meeting with the leaders of Japan, Australia and India on Friday in the first top-level talks by the 4 countries known as the Quad. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki announced that topics at the talks will include coronavirus responses and economic cooperation. Psaki said meeting will be one of the earliest multilateral engagements for Biden, who places importance on close cooperation with US allies and partners in the Indo-Pacific. According to a new report by the World Health Organization, 1 in 3 women worldwide have been subjected to sexual or physical violence during their lifetime. The UN agency released a study yesterday urging governments to prevent violence, improve services for victims, and tackle economic inequalities that often leave women and girls trapped in abusive relationships. About 31% of women aged 15 to 49, or up to 852 million women, have experienced physical or sexual violence, the WHO said in what it called the largest ever such study, encompassing national data and surveys from 2000 to 2018. A UN panel says radiation exposure from the 2011 accident at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant is unlikely to raise cancer rates, confirming its previous findings on the matter. The UN Scientific Committee on the Effects of Atomic Radiation issued a report ahead of Thursday's 10th anniversary of the massive earthquake and tsunami that led to the accident. The report says that future health effects such as cancer directly related to radiation exposure are unlikely to be discernible. To end the world news, the headlines again. The Quad Summit to be held online on Friday. The WHO reports 1 in 3 women endure violence worldwide. The UN panel says nuclear accident unlikely to raise cancer rate. That ends world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by Navia along with CIB from 1st to 15th March. Valuable gifts for every bill payment. Our products, our place. CIB.
Moving on to development news, approval has been granted to implement the Swashakti loan scheme under the Youth and Sports Ministry with necessary amendments to facilitate loans for small and medium-scale entrepreneurship development and the generation of employment. 58% of the loans have been granted for the ongoing enterprises, whereas 42% have been awarded to new enterprises. The Cabinet has approved the proposal by the Youth and Sports Minister to provide loans under the Swashakti loan scheme and to release 2 million rupees under the scheme. That ends development news.
Development News was brought to you by Live year along with CIB from 1st to 15th March. Valuable gifts for every bill payment. Our products, our place. CIB.
Moving on to sports news, it's cricket. Neither West Indies nor Sri Lanka have much of a recent history of being good at this format. Since the start of 2019, West Indies have lost 21 and won only 13 of their ODIs. Sri Lanka, meanwhile, have done slightly better, 10 wins and 14 losses, but have led the benefit of having had most of their best players available throughout. There's no ODI World Cup this year, so it seems like a low-stakes series. But then there's an ODI World Cup Super League to look forward to. If either team tanks this series, the pressure over 2023 World Cup spots starts to mount. Meanwhile, the 10th match of the Road Safety World Series between Sri Lanka Legends and Bangladesh Legends will take place at Sahid Veer Narayan Singh International Stadium in Raipur later today. The tournament is getting continued from last year. Sri Lankan Legends have won both of their games in the 2021 season, whereas Bangladesh Legends have lost both of their games. Dilshan and Taranga have batted beautifully for the Sri Lankan side, whereas Herat and Kulasekara have been their best bowlers. Bangladesh Legends are struggling in the tournament. The match will commence at 7 p.m. local time. That ends sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
The country's first ever end-to-end fully integrated online supermarket specializing in grocery was recently launched to cater to households all over Sri Lanka to deliver groceries and other items swiftly, conveniently and safely to the doorstep. True to the nature of the end-to-end supermarket concept, Superbox will take care of each and every aspect of the service from warehousing, procurement, pricing and product choice to home delivery. In addition to serving customers living in Sri Lanka, Superbox will offer a convenient service to Sri Lankan expatriates living around the world to send essentials, groceries and gifts to their friends and families at home. That ends Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic News. Courtesy of...
Congratulations on your promotion. When will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And on economic news, Sri Lanka plans to set up an aircraft and maintenance and repair overhaul unit, a transit hotel, expand duty-free services at Mattala Rajapaksa International Airport as it draws more traffic. The Chief Director Operations, Airport and Aviation Services, Sri Lanka, Shahan Sumanasekara says the airport at Mattala will be establishing a MRO facility with foreign investments to capture the regional business markets to aircraft, engine repairs and checks. Sri Lankan Airlines already has an MRO at the main Bandaranaike airport which does sea checks and other services for a number of airlines. That ends economic news.
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
No, Amma. We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
Oh, really? How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy. She might be feeling very uncomfortable. The airport must be heavily crowded because it's a season.
Amma, calm down. Everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge. There's nothing to worry.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And finally, on the weather report, the Department of Meteorology forecast showers at several places in the eastern and Uva provinces and in Hambantota, Matale, Nuwara Eliya and Polonnaruwa districts. The Met Department further predicts showers or thundershowers to occur at several places elsewhere in the afternoon. Fairly heavy falls above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in the Sabaragamuwa, northwestern and western provinces and in Gaul, Mathura and Kandy districts. That ends the weather report. And to conclude this bulletin of news, the headlines again. The Gazette notification issued regarding a wage increase for estate workers. The Colombo High Court issues warrant on former MP. Sri Lankan migrant workers stranded in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates to be repatriated. The Parliament debate on Easter report today. The Catholic Bishops' Conference urges the government to take immediate action to implement the recommendations of the PCOI report on the Easter Sunday attacks. COVID-19 recoveries on the rise. 2020 ordinary level exam draws to an end today. On international news, the Quad Summit to be held online on Friday. In sports, Sri Lanka, West Indies gear up to shake off ODI rust. With that, we conclude this bulletin of news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Over to my friend and colleague Niranjan Abesundara to keep you entertained with the rest of the afternoon programs. Over to you, Niranjan.